Yes, no worries. I can do this again for all of you. Now, texture. So, texture is nothing but the tactile surface of the plant materials. Again, texture is also very impactful. I have something to show you. So this is, what kind of texture is this? This is a bitter gourd, correct? Or a karela, we call it. And this is grainy, rough. So we have many textures: rough, grainy, smooth, glossy, matte, prickly, thorny, and they also, I have another texture here. This is grainy. So textures do play a very important role again. So if you want to express an emotion which is harsh, you will use a rougher texture. And if you have to show an emotion which is very lovable, calm, you will definitely use a smoother texture. And Viola, I will sprinkle some confettis for you here, because congratulations, you now know about all the elements of design. Now we move on to principles of design. Now, like every storyteller has the physical components, the elements. Now, what are the principles? The principles is the way the storyteller tells the story. Okay, it is how we use all these elements, and they are also equally simple. Balance. Exactly what you know about balance. Just imagine you have a very lightweight small pot and you put heavy flowers on it. Will it balance? It will topple over. So that is called actual balance. And now imagine that same lightweight container was made of a very heavy material and you put heavy flowers in it. So it will take the weight. It will not topple. But will it look balanced? No. So that is visual balance. So in a floral design, we need to have visual and actual balance. And when you study the principles, you will go in depth about symmetrical, asymmetrical. We had days and days of dynamic balance studying. So I'll not go into the details, but we should always remember that in a floral design, we need actual balance and visual balance. Now, coming to contrast. Again, the word itself says it. Contrast means difference. So use of contrasting textures, rough, smooth, use of contrasting colors. Give me examples of contrasting colors. One or two, come on. Contrasting colors, contrasting textures, contrasting forms. For example, in a design, if I use spheres with cubes, they are contrasting forms. So the use of these help you in telling your design story. Right. Amazing. Purple with orange, black and white. All these combinations are contrasting colors. Now coming to scale and proportion. Tricky. I think all those who have studied scale and proportion are waiting for this. Let us see, let us hear what she's going to tell about scale and proportion. No, but it is, believe me, it's very simple. So what is scale? Scale is the relative size of the components in a design. And proportion is the relative quantities of the materials used in a design. It is as simple as that. So whenever we use a size, we use a material which is either too large or too small for the design, we say it is out of scale. And here, when I'm going to give you an example of proportion, proportion means the quantity of materials used with respect to each other or the whole design. So, for example, can you imagine looking at a design which has lots of one material and very few of the other? So, this is out of proportion. That particular material is used out of proportion. Viola, again, scale and proportion was that simple. Now, rhythm. Rhythm is movement. Music has rhythm, so rhythm is movement. And movement is, again, quintessential in your design. And how do you get this movement? And movement is exactly how your eyes move through the design. So that is rhythm or movement. Movement can be achieved in a design by repetition, by using transitional forms, and the list is endless. You might have heard us saying, please include that creeper in your design to add the rhythm to your design. So because the eye moves with the creeper, please add a little bit of tilantsia in your design. It will add rhythm to your design. So this is how rhythm is used in a design. Now dominance. The name again says it. What is dominance? It is when a particular component is dominant over the other component in a design. For example, any particular texture is more dominant than the other, any particular color is more dominant than the other, any particular area is more dominant than the other. So that is what dominance is all about. Now combining everything I said is harmony. So what is harmony in a design? If we have a well integrated design with all the elements and the principles used effectively, the design is called harmonious. Okay? And that's the simplest definition of harmony. We all are looking in harmony now. We all are looking together on the screen. So we all are one harmonious whole. So harmony is that simple. Wow, it was simple, right?
Many people
So
who are in Dubai can't come here. Oh.
please mute yourselves, whoever's joined in late. Okay, let's read this together. A beginning flower arranger may feel intimidated by the elements and principles of design, but rather than limiting and restrictive, they actually provide us limitless possibilities, for they are the keys that unlock the secrets of a pleasing floral design. So, like I told all the new beginners who have joined in today, don't be intimidated by these. They are just actually giving you the rules. Imagine they're giving you the physical components here, take, just mix them up and make your design. It's as simple as that. So this was elements and principles. Now coming to a little bit of examples and illustration and seeing how much we have imbibed. I have used all my designs so that even if we all together rip it apart, no hard feelings to anybody. It's all mine. So it's fine. We start with exhibit 1. You all can see. So the cones with those white and baby pink flowers are used to depict ice cream cones with probably strawberry and vanilla flavors. And the can you see the contrasting texture, the making it weaved on the cones are giving it an effect of the waffle cones we eat. And you would notice that there are some music notes and the 7 cones depicting the 7 notes of music are depicting the summer Sunday. Summer Sunday, for that matter, is a music show or a fest in UK. So this is a dual story is being shared here, wherein there are cones with strawberry and vanilla flavored ice creams, and there is also a touch of music because the name of Summer Sunday is a musical fest too. So, so basically, you can see this negative space in between the cones. You can see the lines, you can see the form, the cones, you can see the texture, you can see the color that is depicting the story of vanilla and strawberry. the summer Sunday. Moving on to exhibit 2. And this exhibit was made, any guesses? I'm sure you all can guess this one. It was made to depict an IPL team. I'm so sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it was made to depict an IPL team, Sunrisers Hyderabad. And that time when I had made this design, Sunrisers Hyderabad had a logo where there were, I'm not following IPL at the moment, so I don't know whether they still use that logo or emblem. There was a sun and there was a bird there. So you can see the form, the circle used, that is the depicting the sun, and the bird of paradise, the bird moving onto space. And these are the negative spaces. So while I'm telling you the story, you all can observe the elements used in this design. And I had the use of this gray color on the stand, and the orange and the green amaranthus are all symbolizing the cricketers in the gray and orange jerseys playing on the cricket field. At that time, Sunrisers Hyderabad had gray and orange jerseys. And now the third exhibit is quite close to my heart because this is telling a story of emotions, of a tangled heart, wherein a little girl is actually newly married and she is trying to nudge and she longs to go back to her uh, parents' house. And you can read there, it nudged her as he held her hand. It was a tangled knot of feelings, and she couldn't pull forth any strand. So there is this, you know, emotion wherein you want to stay here. No, you want to go there. So this is a beautiful story which is represented by this tangled design here. Exhibit 4, Mystery and Magic. So the tilted teapot, probably flowing magic potion, the magical plume, the mysterious plume tucked in the book, the little bird there perched on the tool, the key, God knows which door will it open. So the whole design is bringing a sense of mystery. Coming to exhibit 5, the sound. So this is an anniversary theme wherein the two little lovebirds perched on the corrugated pillars. There can be sourness in a relationship, right? And there can be happiness like those pearls. So, and you could also, while I'm talking about the story, we could have a look at this contrast, at the contrasting forms used in the design. The lemons, the the sphere lemons, the oval lock pieces there, the cylindrical tubes. So when I was explaining the elements and principles of design, I meant to say that these are the physical components we have at hand, which we can juggle and tell a story. We all can notice the texture on the lemon peels and also on the corrugated tubes. What a beautiful story of the two birds looking at each other, rising above all imperfections. And the last example I would like to share. Here, I have been talking about the elements, right? The line, the form, the texture, the space, and the color. Now let's have a quiz wherein you just do this or this, okay? Can you see the line and use of line in the design? This. Can you see the use of space in the design? Can you see the use of a form in the design? Can you see the use of different textures in the design? And can you see the use of color? So this particular design had the class title Music of the Senses. And we all know what our senses are, right? The sight, the touch, the sense of hearing, and the sense of smell, and the sense of taste. So, barring the sense of taste, I can explain you all the other four senses used in the design. Sight is quite obvious that the color, the sight of the sensual, touching your senses, the color, the texture is for touch. Then the smell. I had actually used diffused liquid in the test tubes to give that smell, that fragrance. And then the sound. These small sphere shola balls you see here, these ones, they are actually had those ghungru inside to probably give you that sound. So this was music for the senses. And I
I
could
just
read
want to
out,
interrupt here, Swati, 1 minute,
yes,
because for the viewers who do not know, Swati won a special award for this exhibit at the last competition that we had in Jaipur. So this design is extra special. So
thank you.
congratulations, Swati, and please go ahead.
Yes. So I would like you all to I would like you all to read this, but then the matter, it was just depicting the ebbs and flows, the ebbs and tides of the music, along with the sense of calmness and peace. Now, above all, originality, your golden touch, your hallmark, your style, your story. So, like I said, a storyteller also does this, but there are so many storytellers. So I'll give you examples. We have a storyteller from UK, David Heatherfield, one from Singapore, Robert Jerkins, and some from India, Jiva Raghunatham. All are very good storytellers. And you know what? I have heard one single folk tale from all of them, but each time it's different because it's their story, because it has their touch in it. And for this matter, something just comes to is coming to my mind right now. When you see a design, at times you can actually say, oh, this design is of this person. For example, if at times we see jute, we obviously say that, maybe it's Preeti D's design, right? So there is something called your signature, your style, your voice modulation, and give it your labor of love. So when you give it your labor of love, your thought, your emotion, and make it your original design, then it does tell a story. It does touch your heart, and it is like creating a design that tells a story from one heart to the other heart. So do keep this in mind, that it is your story, your style at the end of it. Let's do a quick recap. Recap time. Every design has a story to tell, has a thought, an emotion, or point of view. I'm sure we all agree on this point one, that every design has a story to tell. Recap two, good news is you have a set of rules or guide or the building blocks to achieve this. And third, unity. It is the compatibility of all the elements using the principles of design to create a harmonious whole that tells a consistent story. Now, coming to additional resources which could help you raise the bar, which could help you make your design tell a story. So you can see this man on the computer. This actually means YouTube, Facebook pages, and any sources on the internet, Google, Insta handles. So please follow all the Facebook pages, follow yours. Right now we have here, we could follow the NAFA's page, which is now called the IFAD page. You could follow that. You could follow Pushpa Bitan page. You could follow so many YouTube channels now to get more information on designing. Can you see this lady talking here? So this is us. Here talks. Here talks by so many of us here are ready to share information, do classes, And now we are very glad that we have a first batch of basic course graduates. And so you can enroll yourself for classes. Do you see flowers here? So do start making the designs and exploring flowers now, arranging with flowers. And do you see this here, this little one? Subscribe to magazines, subscribe to books. And NAFAS has, I think, subscriptions, which I can share all this information with you on WhatsApp, wherein I share a list of things which is available to you. There are books, there are beautiful books written, wherein you can learn more about the elements and principles of design. So please do explore these additional resources while you are wanting to raise the bar and make your design tell a story. And thank you for being a part of my story. And before I leave or open the forum for question answers, I would like to leave you all with the short story. Are we all good with the one short story? It will take 2-3 minutes, and it will also help us understand how we should combine these elements and principles, right? So, once upon a time, long, long ago, there was a sultan in Persia. Now, this sultan loved solving puzzles, riddles, and problems. He, any problem, any puzzle at hand, and he used to be at once on it, solving it. I think he was a little proud also that he could solve every puzzle he got. One day, there was a parcel, anonymous. He didn't know who sent it. Right now, COVID times, I don't think we will open any parcels, but I'm talking about long time ago when there was no COVID. And he opened the lid. There were 3 dolls with a message. And the message was, find the difference. He was quite intrigued. He picked up the dolls one by one. Same to look at. He touched them. Same texture, same fabric they were wearing. He looked at them closely. The eyes were same. The hair was tied the same. And he called for everything. He called for a weighing scale. He called for magnifying glasses. And he took hours and hours. They weighed the same. They looked the same. The count of the eyelashes was the same. Everything was same. Days passed by. Everyone in the court or kingdom who heard that the Sultan is trying to solve a puzzle and is unable to do so came to help him out. Every wise man tried. No luck. Could not find any difference. Then the jester of the court came. You know, the clown, the jester who entertains in the court, he came. He juggled the dolls for a few minutes. He did look this. They sounded the same also. He got bored. He left it. He said, it's a joke. The king got angry. The Sultan got angry and he said, it could not be a joke. There is something we are missing. Months passed by. But when the Sultan had actually lost hope, this old lady came with a stick, a tip, tap, tip, tap, and she said, I hear, Sultan, that you are looking to solve a puzzle. The Sultan said, so many wise people could not solve it. What will this old lady solve? Let it be. So, but then he thought, might as well try. He gave her the dolls and he was walking away when the old lady said, every story needs a listener. Wait, don't go. Sit here and listen to me. And the Sultan was actually taken aback, so he stayed on. The old lady picked up the first doll She pulled a strand of hair from the Sultan's beard up and she inserted it carefully in the right ear of the doll. And the Sultan saw that strand of hair going in, disappearing in the forehead with no reappearance. The Sultan asked her, why was it so? So she said, my lord, this doll is a scholar. Whatever she hears, she retains it inside. She picked up the second doll. She pulled out another strand of hair from the Sultan's beard. She inserted it carefully in the right ear of the doll. And soon it disappeared in the forehead of the doll. In no time, it reappeared from the other end from the left ear. And the old lady said, my lord, she is a fool. Whatever goes in comes out. She picked up the third doll. And before the Sultan could actually stop her, that it's hurting, she pulled another strand. Ow! And again, carefully inserted it in the right ear of the doll. And it disappeared in the forehead of the doll. And Sultan was also now eager to see where does it reappear from. And there, from the pursed lips of the doll, came out that strand of hair. But it had a little twist. It had a little twist. And she said, my lord, this doll is the storyteller. Whatever she hears, she says it as a story with a little twist, slightly twisted, to make it her own. So that is what you have to do, my friends. You have to take in the elements, mix it up, juggle it with the principles, and present it as a story by making it your own. So this was the elements and principles of design, raising the bar and telling your story through a floral design. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you, Swati. Wow, we really had a great afternoon hearing such a beautiful story and, of course, having a good revision of.
Thank you.
And Pooja, we have Valerie with us. I would like her to say the
Yes,
final
Auntie.
thank you on the things.
And I'll
But
surely give
she
the.
is the one who actually introduced us to the elements and principles. So
I agree. So before I give the word speak to Valerie, I just, ma'am, I just want to say thank you to Swati and thank you to Kavita Auntie, who actually made us do a revision of elements and principles. And I do remember, Swati, when Valerie ma'am, when we had an exam, Valerie ma'am was always concentrating and telling us elements and principles are very important in your designs. You cannot go wrong.
I'm sure it is because of Kavita Auntie, Valerie ma'am, Leslie ma'am, and all our adjudicators here, Lily Auntie, Manjari Bhabhi, and Avantika, that we have it now ingrained in us in such a way that it is actually the language we talk in. Thank you so much for.
I agree. So we also had a session when I'm sure all of us will be remembering and going back that, you know, elements, principles, it's must in your design. It is has to be there. And I think days went by, but we never forgotten about it. Even today, when we see the design, it has to be elements and principles, which is the first law. So thank you to all our teachers and thank you to Valerie ma'am who drilled in us. And today, thank you to Swati who gave a good revision for all that we have learned through the years. So over to you, Valerie ma'am. Can we have a few words from you?
Yes, of course. Yes, thank you very much. Well, it's been an absolutely delight to be with you all this morning and to listen to Swati, because the title raised the bar. I really had no idea what was coming. I knew it would be a story because I know she's a storyteller, but how expertly it's been put together, because it certainly raised the bar. And I think it doesn't matter what your experience is of floral design, doesn't matter how many years you've been involved in it. We do need to hear this again and again and again, because it's very easy to forget. And you have absolutely taken all the threads of the principles and elements of design, you have brought them together and woven them into a wonderful story of explanation. And it's one that you are going to be able to use again and again. And I'm sure you are going to be able to go out to different, you're going to be able to use this and go out to different groups in Kolkata and around India. And you have the ability to inspire people, because your enthusiasm for your subject and for all that you do just comes across so beautifully. And that's not easy on Zoom. So my congratulations to you. I have loved every minute. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Valerie, ma'am. Thank you.
So thank you, Swati. Once again, I request if there's any questions from anyone. So Swati will be really delightful to answer.
I think somebody had raised her hand. I'm unable to now see that raised hand. But if anybody had raised their hand and has any question, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask this question, please.
Yeah.
How are you feeling after having spoken? I mean, it hasn't changed.
I mean,
Anybody has any questions?
so even if you have any thoughts that you've got
Yes,
from
any
the
thoughts?
sessions, it
Any
needn't to be a question, but any thoughts that you've got or anything. And Christiane, why don't you say a few words to us? Because you were with us when we were training.
Well, I think I mentioned earlier on, I'm really very much impressed on how beautifully you put a story together using the elements and principles of design. I would like to see that in writing to pass it on to other members. Is that possible?
Sure. I'll
Because-
try and put it in a, would it be okay, Christian, if I give you this presentation in a PDF form and some notes along the side?
Sure, yeah. Because it's been, elements and principles of design, they can be so dry if you explain them, but you put them together so beautifully and told a lovely story with it.
Yes.
So it would help for beginners particularly to remember
Yes.
that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christian, for being with us today.
Well, it's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
I think, Pooja, we can call this meeting to a close better. Yeah.
Yes, of course, Auntie.
And
So-
the next meeting, we are not sure about the 8th because it will all depend on the situation that there is. But the 28th is final.
Okay. So I hope, everybody, please make a note. There will be a demo on the 28th, especially for Singapore. And and thank you to Christiane ma'am that she's allowed all of us to have a peek into the designs, which our demonstrators from Calcutta is doing it. So please make a note, and of course we will give you a reminder. And before I end the meeting, thank you, Swati, once again. And it was a good revision from all of us. And thank you, Kavita Auntie, Valerie ma'am, Christian, and all the other members who took us time for such a nice afternoon. Thank you.
I just want to add, Pooja, that if there are any suggestions from people of what they would like to do, they are most welcome to send it to us. We would really love it. That whatever, if they have any thoughts or anything of what programs they would like to do, we would really love to see it.
Of
and hear
course.
it. Yeah.
Because as we all know, since the lockdown is going to be going further, and we don't want that everybody, sitting at home and just getting a negativity. As we always say, flowers give us positivity. So we will, of course, welcome all the suggestions from all of you.
So many different kinds of positive now. That word is only like, harrowing us.
I know, but of course, God will be kind. God is kind with all of us,
Yeah.
and we are. He is keeping us safe. So let us use the positivity, and please be free to give us any suggestion which you would like us to go for you all. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
so
much.
much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Lovely to
Bye
see you.
bye. Thank you. Lovely to see you
Bye.
all. Thank you so much. I hope, Pooja, you would not pick on me because I did not record the full thing. I recorded from halfway through.
No
So
problem,
sorry.
Swati. I did
Simply
check.
skipped.
No,
No, the
I
pressing
saw.
the button record was something
I realized that, and
I
I
know
tried
I read
from my.
Divyadi's message and then I pressed record.
Yeah, I realized that, but I didn't want to disturb you during your session because the flow would have, just
I know,
broken.
I know, but
So I realized, and I tried it to do from my end, but
it was not
I
happening.
was
Right,
no, I
right, right.
wasn't. Yeah.
Okay,
So
see you
never
all.
mind. We'll if you can manage to send a